take her on dinner date. 7 and Simmons, yeah, I dress the huncho every day. Yeah, Ricky Lake, wrapped up, came from Kuwait. Yeah, every day, young nigga looking for bait. Got a bitch on Jimmy and she do whatever huncho say. My boyfriend wanna be me cause I keep that shit the gangsta way. I got to put you down. Hey man, these niggas going outside.
Hi, Kiki.
Can't go out bad. No, especially about that bitch. I'm not going outside.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Rachel.
I'm not going outside. Especially about that bitch. I can't go outside. I can't go outside.
Hey, Camellia. Y'all watched the Brandy and Monica versus? I did. Did y'all watch it? What y'all thought about it?
I'm young and rich, but I can strong on brick. I heard you was born a bitch. Rick on Wednesday, coach your rent. Pay up, straight up. But John Wick got to put the K up. I'ma smash up, but we gon' lay up. I'm about to look at your weight up. Throw the knob, bitch, you know where we from. Make it sweet and we pull out a drum. You can be rich in the bomb. I want it all, not some. She fucking for fame for some. I think she
came for money.
I swear I ain't heard for nothing. So I just gave her money. Hoes in my house like you governor.
Hey. So Monica's vocals still hit as nice. Hey, Olu. Welcome, guys. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button on your way in. Especially about that. I'm not going outside. You were thinking about me? You're psychic, Lilith. Because I was contemplating, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Because I don't go live as much as I used to, so. Okay, so I'm glad you said that, that Brandy won, because in my humble, before we even get into, well, first of all, let's run down the itinerary for tonight. Okay, so we can start off by discussing Brandy and Monica, because I did take a look at both of their natal charts. I was sitting on top of some of Monica's information because I was going to do a reading about Master P as well as C Murder, and then tie Monica into it as well. You know, I wanted to do a little synastry, but yeah, we can get into some details of Monica's natal chart. I was looking at the synastry that she had going on between she and Brandy also. So, I mean, we can kind of touch on some things tonight. And then, of course, I wanted to talk about this full moon in Pisces. Hey, Patricia, the Capricorn ascendant. The vibes, what's happening? But I'm glad that you said that Brandy won, because that was kind of my takeaway too. And I'm gonna just be real. I'm gonna just be like honest with y'all. I like Monica. Like I like her music. She has music that I like, but I can't really go up for her the way a lot of people go up for her, because here's my issue with Monica, right? She presents herself as like this take it or leave it type of chick, which, I mean, she's a Scorpio. So I mean, that's false. There's a lot more to Scorpios than what you see on the surface, just off top. But she really does portray herself as this like, oh, take it or leave it type of person, right? And all of her music directly correlates or corresponds with her life and the things that she's gone through, which, I mean, okay, but when you promote, like, I mean, I just, and not to just grandstand, I just think she is a, what do you call it? She exudes codependent, like a ghetto chick vibes, like hood rat vibes. Like there's a difference between being a girl from the hood and being like a hood rat. She gives me hood rat tea. Like, girl, like, you know, her being so giddy about fucking with niggas in prison And I remember back in like the late 90s, she would make songs about how she, if I can't keep him out the streets, he don't need to be with me. And now you 40 something and you still making music and giggling about dating felons and men who are serving life sentences. Like, it's just, she makes music for like a certain brand of woman. I feel like she makes music that all the girls who ain't go to college, not saying that you got to go to college to be somebody. Let's be clear. College is overrated, but she makes music for the girls who maybe aren't really like, they didn't have like a formal education, like the real round the way girls who believe that they should hold their nigga down in prison and who feel like they should, it's their job to fix a man. That's kind of what she gives me. Is it me? Or like, am I the only one here? Like, or do y'all get what I'm trying to say? It's kind of weird. That ride or die mentality, it rubs me the wrong way. So I have a difficult time just like, Monica. Like, people love her. And given that I'm from Atlanta, or I spent most of my life in Atlanta, so a lot of people look at me like I'm a traitor. Like, I think she's from College Park, right? I think. But whatever. Fuck it. Hey, Brittany. How you doing, baby? Hey, Scorpio Forever. Keisha Cole too. Yeah. Yeah, very like hood based. And it's not to say that they are not talented. It's not to say that they don't have songs I like, because that's not true. It's just, I don't know. I can't really verbalize it. Like, buying into them 100% is kind of weird. And I'll just be like, ugh, y'all is wilding. And then people, it's like a popularity contest. I get Brandy does not have that great of a personality, but like, y'all are really trying to sit up here and say that Monica sings better than Brandy. Is that how y'all really feel? And it's like, do y'all really feel like Brandy is not a better singer than Monica? There are several realities that can coexist at the same time. I think Monica may very well she might win in like the singles department in terms of like charting singles or more popular singles. But once again, I am biased because I'm Atlanta based. So, Atlanta, we Monica'd out down here. Everybody love Monica. So I don't know, but I'm as a well-rounded artist, I would say Brandy is the more well-rounded artist with the better voice. That's just me. Brandy had a lot of range to go through. She was getting shout outs from Pop, shout outs from Biggie, soundtracks, and all we knew about Monica was, oh, I was 12. That was the takeaway. Oh, I was 12. I was like, shit, if you don't know nothing else about Monica, you know that bitch was 12. Because she like, that's all she had. I was 12. Okay, you was 12, girl. What's up? Like, what else? Want a cookie? Well, like, tell me what else. Yes, Vocal Bible. Yes. Hold on, let me get my charger for my computer dies. But yes, Vocal Bible, absolutely. She was a pioneer. Exactly. Oh, I didn't mean to highlight your comment there. What am I doing here? Okay, whatever. Monica gives sneaky vibes. Yeah. Like I said, she's a Scorpio. But let's be very clear, from a personality standpoint, Brandy is not innocent at all. She's just as shady. And we'll get into that momentarily. So it's not like you have a clear-cut victim in the situation, because I don't think that's true. I just think that I don't know. I think people naturally take to Monica, and that's fine, but because she's the more relatable one. She's a relatable queen. But I see through that shit. I'm not impressed by like the hood, like the super hood rat thing. Anyway, that's just me. That's just me personally, my opinion. Okay. I heard Keisha Cole got a funky ass attitude. Ooh, is that right? Her voice is like Migos to R&B. Brandy with her Leah Moon was showing off and a little bit too much. Okay, so I guess we'll get into it. So I don't feel like sharing my screen tonight. So if you're able to follow along on your own accord, feel free. I just wanted to get into Brandy's chart a little bit. We can discuss a little bit about Monica. Then, of course, go over their synastry aspect. So something I wanted to point out in terms of like what I observed in Brandy's chart. So Brandy was born February 11, 1979 at 7:51 a.m. in Macomb, Mississippi. So she's an Aquarius, true and true. And one thing about Aquarians, especially your more dark-sided Aquarians, they can be some of the most phony the phoniest motherfuckers you've ever met in your life. Okay, these are people who can be very like they have a difficult time connecting to people beyond a superficial kind of layer. Another manifestation of that dark side of the Aquarian energy is just being weird as hell for no reason. These are people I tend to find who can range on that like what do you call it, that autistic spectrum. Not all the time, nor am I necessarily saying Brandy is autistic, but these are people, because that's kind of like an extreme case, but these are people where just even on your more like a more mundane type of level, they just can be socially fucking awkward, like weird. And Brandy has always given weird vibes to me. Like she's that girl, and I heard somebody use this analogy, and I thought it was perfect. She's that friend that, like, when you bring her around your other friends, you gotta do a disclaimer. You can't just like pop that bitch up out the blue and then just sit her in other people's lap. You gotta say, look, y'all, this is my homegirl Brandy. I met her through such and such. Listen, she's cool. I know. Just give her a chance. She's cool. I promise. She's cool. She's not that bad. And then just try to let it rock like that. You can't just put Brandy on nobody like that, like just spontaneously and expect shit to go the right way. The bitch is weird. She just is. And she actually has an Aquarius stellium going on. She's an Aquarius sun, Mercury. She has her Mercury at the 24th degree of Aquarius, and Mars. Okay, so she has her Mercury conjunct Mars, that sun conjunct Mars. Her sun is at the 22nd degree. The number 22 breaks down to 4, which, I mean, the number 4 is governed by Uranus, so that's even more Aquarian energy. The bitch is, like I said, she's just weird. These are people who can be outcasts, especially given the fact that this stellium is taking place in her 12th house. So these are people who can be gravely and chronically misunderstood by society. Okay, but these are also people who can be very sneaky. And that's why I said Brandy is not, she's not innocent. She's not innocent. These are people who can be incredibly sneaky. And very what's the word? Very deceptive. They can spend a lot of time trying to project an image, which is something that has haunted Brandy almost, her entire career in terms of her team crafting a persona for her, and then it not really going the way she wanted it to go, or her being exposed, or her being subject to scandal. That's all a part of that Piscean energy, right? Or that 12th house energy. She's a Pisces South Node too, though. So whenever you're dealing with Pisces South Nodes, or people who have a lot, like a concentrated amount of like energy or planets in the 12th house, these are people who can be very, at best, they can just be really weird and just really like just off, they can just have a demeanor about themselves that's just really off. They can just be low key, like you kind of question question their, like, if they're all there mentally, kind of nutty. But, you know, at worst, these can be some of your most, like, just disingenuous, like I said, sneaky, flaky, secretive individuals. You know, they can be double dealing. They could be, I mean, with that Aquarius component, like I said, very superficial, very fake. You know, they'll justify anything as like a means to an end type of thing. Very secretive. So it's just like, she has a lot of shit working against her naturally. And just from an energetic standpoint, people pick that up. Whether or not you're into astrology, people pick that shit up. So, I mean, that's not surprising. And then with her son at that 22nd degree, you know, that could also even deal with a person who is very controlling. So you could look at that as her spending a lot of time or a lot of concentrated effort into controlling her image. Brandy is hyper aware of how she comes across. You know what I'm saying? Now, all of this 12th house energy, that Pisces South Node could also deal with her, of course, being like in the entertainment industry, but it could also even deal with her being like a darling. And when you think about the trajectory of her career, Brandy has very much always been like a darling of like America's darling. She was the Princess Brandy. So that sun at the 22nd degree can deal with where she spends a lot of time, or where she has spent a lot of time trying to control the narrative surrounding that image and surrounding her image within the music industry, the entertainment industry, all of that. That's that 12th house energy. That's that Pisces South Node energy. Okay. So I thought that was kind of interesting in terms of you know, Brandy and what she got going on. Something else that stood out was the fact that Brandy's her Venus is actually at the 6th degree of Capricorn, which just can create a real opportunist, and someone else who has this placement, Venus in Capricorn, that I could just think of off the top of my head to further illustrate my point is Meg the Stallion. So, and she's an Aquarius sun too. So this whole theme of like being frenemies with people or hanging around people that you may not even particularly like or care for, or making decisions in terms of partnerships. I mean, with her Venus at the 6th degree, I believe the number 6 even deals with business. I mean, so can Capricorn, but specifically the number 6 deals with business partnerships. So her making the decision to deal with certain people based off of, you know, how it looks for her. And it really confirms what I felt to be true in terms of that whole situation. It just felt like a business opportunity. You know, the energy was really weird, really awkward. So what did y'all think? Did y'all pick up on that as well? Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button on your way in. Brandy got exposed. She did get exposed back in the early 2000s. So the whole saying wasn't, I mean, because, you know, the sun does deal with your children and the men that you date. So, you know, there was a huge scandal surrounding her having her daughter. Okay, because I think she had told everybody that she had gotten married and gotten pregnant and whatever. Not that I don't think people really gave a fuck, but when you craft yourself and put yourself in a particular light, you kind of just set yourself up to be scrutinized about certain things. So she like had this whole story about how she was, you know, she married her sweetheart and whatever, and then come to find out they weren't married. She was a baby mama. Hence the song Baby Mama, like, which, I mean, ain't bad in my opinion. I don't give a fuck. That's not really a scandal, but it's a scandal if you deliberately go out of your way to craft and be a completely different person your entire career. And I mean, and in Brandy's defense, she had a lot of different moving parts surrounding that, you know, because she's been in the industry since she was a kid. Excuse me. Because even with her she has that that Virgo North Node conjunct Saturn in her 7th house. So I mean, like, well, the Saturn is actually in her 6th house, but her North Node's in the 7th house, and that could deal with her, you know, receiving a lot of help, where there was a lot of different moving parts behind her, where there was kind of like a formula almost, like to what the hell? Yeah, sorry. I don't know what that was. But yeah, where there were a lot of different parts, moving parts behind her. Y'all, this Pisces moon is, the full moon is acting up. Like, I'm experiencing a lot of paranormal shit. Are y'all experiencing the same thing? Is it just me? I'm hearing shit, and I'm naturally clairaudient anyway, so I'm predisposed. Like, I'm very sensitive to sounds and stuff. So I'm like, am I going crazy? Thank you, Jessica, for the Cashapp. I love you. But yeah, so it got exposed that, you know, she was a baby mama, and it was all over the tabloids. But this is for my, you know, I'm probably telling my age here, you know, but this was in the early thousands, around that era. So scandal. Yes, the accident, Scorpio forever. Okay, so I saw some things that could have pointed towards that accident. Because so Brandy, you know, like maybe 10 years ago, I don't know when it was, got into a car accident where she ended up killing a woman. And the people started making a lot of jokes. She was the butt of a lot of jokes over that, because people was like, oh, Lord, Brandy on the road, bitch. If you race around Brandy, keep your seatbelt handy. Like that type of thing. It's not funny, but it was a little funny. Not the death, but like, you know, people just used to roast Brandy. Poor Brandy. So, you know, I noticed that she has her Uranus at that 20th degree of Scorpio, which is a generational placement. Okay. Which means it matters more how this planet is being aspected and like what house it's in. Like you can get more like personal information in that regard, but still the entire generation that has that Uranus Scorpio placement often experience very like sudden, unforeseeable type of even karmic instances, and they have a very karmic relationship with death and shit like that. You know, things could happen in the blink of an eye, you know, very transformative events. So, you know, there's that. But her Uranus, that Uranus and Scorpio is in her 8th house. That 8th house even deals with things that are outside of your control. That's another placement that could definitely point towards life-changing events, specifically that include death. So let's see how it's being aspected. It's squaring her Mercury, y'all. And y'all know Mercury deals with cars. It deals with vehicles. She has her Mercury in the 12th house. Remember, she has her Sun, Mercury, and Mars in that 12th house of Aquarius. Aquarius can deal with accidents too. And with this squaring her Uranus in the 8th house of Scorpio, this could actually point to where Brandy could have been driving under the influence. I don't know if there are any details about that. Y'all let me know. I wouldn't be surprised if Brandy was like driving drunk. I wouldn't be surprised if she was under the influence of some kind of prescription medication, especially with her being a Virgo North Node. You feel me? This could deal with a person who maybe falls asleep at the wheel, or maybe who isn't paying attention, or their mind can kind of go into like a disassociative state. Psychosis, like where they're not really there. You know what I'm saying? Where their minds can kind of be taken over. So, I mean, but more importantly, this absolutely, like on a literal level, deals with her being involved in a car crash that results in death. Like, for real. Brandy is she's a Pisces ascendant too. The extra shadiness, her ascendant is actually conjunct that South Node, her Pisces South Node. So it just kind of further reinforces this point of her being someone who is very, you kind of gotta like you gotta side eye her a little bit. She's very secretive. Brandy has a lot of secret things. Are never as they appear to be with that Pisces energy. If she killed someone, they should have locked her ass up. Well, I mean, once again, I don't know the specifics of the case or the situation. I remember reading the headlines a while ago. This was a minute ago, like 2010 or something. But, I mean, she not in jail. So I mean, I'm assuming they got a good reason, or I don't really know. I don't know what the authorities' reasons were for that. Maybe it's because she was a celebrity. I'm not sure. I don't know. Oh yeah, remember she was going through a mental, and that's enough. That could even deal with that too, though. Mercury, that Mercury in Aquarius squaring her Uranus in the 8th house of Scorpio, where like she could have. I have no doubt that sis probably has mental health issues, or she could have been going through like she could have been having like a break from reality or some shit, where she just was completely like out of her fucking mind, like. Monica doesn't really like Brandy. I wonder why. We'll get into it. Because I'm going to pull up their synastry or kind of go over their synastry. So I was just like, damn. Is Brandy gay? I don't, well, I mean, I will say with that sun conjunct Mars in the 12th house, I mean, that could deal with her having a lot of a sexuality that is like a a part of her own sexual identity, sexual expression that she is uncomfortable with, I will say. But I also look at this as her attracting gay men. I don't know if y'all remember that last nigga she popped up with. He was like a model or some shit. I don't know what the fuck he was. Okay. Look up her last boyfriend. He was giving me very queen, zesting, Uncle Clifford from P Valley type scene. Maybe not Uncle Clifford, but more like P Murder type scene. Like, I was like, oh, like, so I wouldn't be surprised if like Brandy herself has a habit of dating DL men. Yeah, you remember? I was like, oh, he a little zesty, ain't he? All right. To each his own. Maybe she knows. Maybe, yay. He right, very much queer teens. One of the girls. Sassy Bottom. She has a song called Bipolar and Borderline. What? Oh yeah, I did hear about Niecy Nash. I've always liked her. I never watched Reno 911, but I've always liked her. She's always been so beautiful to me. Like I've always adored her like full lips, her curvy body. She's that's a good looking woman right there. She's also dated someone's son in the industry. Interesting. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Right? I mean, there's just as many bisexual men and women. People are just, of course. And I think too, astronaut warrior, people are just socialized. Men are socialized to not be that way. So the whole concept of bisexuality in men or even homosexuality is very taboo. But I would even say bisexuality more than homosexuality, because especially in the Black community, people are like, you gay or not? You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to men, it's like, oh, he gay or is he not? Which is why people's minds get blown when you see a man who probably got kids, who probably fucked 20 bitches, and still likes a little dick every now and then. P murder shit. It blows people's minds because I guess they don't assume men can be bisexual, or like it's possible to like both, or I mean, whatever. But Ray J is also very much queer. I feel comfortable with saying that he's queer. I mean, not for nothing, Brandy's son is also conjunct Mercury in that 12th house of Aquarius. That could deal with AJ having a hidden sexuality that I feel like Brandy probably knows. And I did a reading on Ray J and Princess a while back, so feel free to go check that out if y'all care to. He's also he has his Mars conjunct his Aquarius South Node, which is one of the biggest giveaway, like LGBTQ giveaways in astrology. Like, okay, all right, sis. And not to mention, I know some people who have personal connections to him. So on a personal level, I was really good friends with a guy who used to date Danny Boy from Bad Boy Records. Not Bad Boy, Lord have mercy. Death Row Records. So the dude saying, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Okay, him. He dated him. Okay, he did all these Vlad interviews and stuff. Allegedly, I'm gonna just say allegedly because I like my little old channel. So allegedly, word on the street from my friend, because he and Danny Boy were together for maybe about 7 years. Danny Boy allegedly, hypothetically, confided in him and hypothetically may have admitted that maybe allegedly, hypothetically, Ray J and Suge Knight were fucking. Woo! Wow! Wow! Hypothetically, of course. And I don't know if y'all remember this. Okay, so you can do your research, but a while back, it had made headlines that Ray J was he trying to like fund Suge Knight's like documentary or something like that. Hold on, let me look it up myself so I can make sure I'm giving the correct information. But this was years after I had been told this information, so it really confirmed what my homeboy had already said. So I was like, Ray J been fucking Suge Knight? Allegedly. I know, right? Ain't it a lot of tea? It's a lot of tea. Allegedly. Y'all go look at that story. Hold on, let me look it up myself now so I can get like the headline like correct. Ray J, Suge Knight. Because it was, and a lot of people was like, oh, that's so random. Like, why would Ray J be interested in? Look, Ray J is speaking at Facebook and speaking out on the Suge Knight Trump pardon rumors. The interesting connection between Ray J and Suge Knight. Suge Knight, okay, I don't know when this was, but here's the headline that says, Suge Knight reportedly signs his life rights to Ray J. Why the fuck would he sign his life rights to Ray J? Who the fuck is Ray J for Suge Knight to be signing his life right? Have y'all heard of Suge Knight being connected to Ray J in any other circumstance? No. So for a lot of people, that was random as hell. Like, what the fuck Ray J got to do with Suge Knight? Well, this confirmed. I feel like a T channel, y'all. This feels like a T channel. Like I said, allegedly, hypothetically, perhaps this confirmed what my good friend, my good Judy, had already told me about 3 years prior. 3 years prior to that headline, I was told this information. And so it really confirmed that. And I was like, Ray J is, and the source said Ray J was a bottom. Okay. My good Judy even went on to describe tattoos, very intimate tattoos that Ray J has. I believe he allegedly has a tattoo on his look. Ray J got a tramp stamp, allegedly, y'all. If my source is correct, which he was clearly, I mean, he's onto something. But yeah, he was giving up very intimate details, you guys, about Ray J and Suge Knight, allegedly. So, I was like, oh shit, Ray J is his baby. Occults use anal sex for spiritual demonic energy. Yeah, I mean, there's very much like a ritual in Hollywood. Yeah. Ray J Sugar. Listen. Yeah. Suge Knight got Sash Cash. Ray J, they probably do have an agreement. Is Mars and Gemini gay or bisexual? It could be both. It depends. And of course, I do want to say this. Like, when you're looking for like gay, quote unquote, gay indicators in a person's chart, there are typically, I give it like a 3 indicator, like a minimum, before I come to like a full conclusion. In some cases, you can have configurations where it's like, okay, it's very likely that this person could be at least trisexual. So like I said, Mars conjunct, like the Aquarius South Node is one of those. But I forget, I can't think of it off the top of my head. But Ray J had like a few indicators. Excuse me, like whether it be like, oh, Mars, squaring Neptune, Mars in opposition to Neptune. You got Venus conjunct Pluto, or I don't know, Venus square Mars. That's another really big, like, quote unquote, gay aspect, especially when you're talking about men. But that Gemini Mars in and of itself, I mean, it can, I'm going to be like very, very honest. It can produce a person who is prone to dibbling and dabbling. You got to think about it. Gemini is the sign of flexibility. Flexible. And when you place that in your planet that governs your mode of sexual expression, these are people who can be very like, okay, let me get into a little this, I can get into a little that. But it does not necessarily always have to be the case if there aren't other things or other factors in the chart that support it. If a person is genuinely on the LGBTQ spectrum, you will find several comprehensive, like, indicators that can kind of help you draw that conclusion. Ain't it some tasty tea? Can you imagine a commentary during that session between Ray and Suge? Listen, I'm trying to tell you, I can only imagine, like, Ray J, like, if I had one wish, you would be my man. We would just hold hands. If I had one wish, I just want that D, baby, come home me. I'm just saying. I'm going to sleep. Good night. Yeah. I have Mars and Gemini too, and other people with this placement that I met are bisexual and fluid as hell. There you go, Oshun's daughter. We're not going to talk about Ray J with Whitney, Brandy's auntie. Listen, and therein lies the whole conundrum. Ray J could very well be bisexual. So, I mean, he's with Princess, so it's not to say that he don't like Gucci. And I noticed that men who are very promiscuous, who are very hypersexual, because even when you think back to like Love and Hip Hop and their whole storyline, like Ray J is a known philanderer. He's a known cheater. He and Princess have made that very clear. It's been public. Even in my own personal experiences, when you're dealing with men who are very hypersexual like that, they're constantly cheating. They have a difficult time sticking to one woman, and they're here, there, and everywhere. I guarantee that these niggas have tried dick before. Like, because at a certain point, you experiment with all the, like, you can only do so much to Gucci before you get bored. Especially if we're talking about niggas that was fucking from early on. You know what I mean? These niggas be out here fucking at the age of damn 12 and shit. Which is also another manifestation of that Aquarius South Node, especially when it's conjunct Mars. These are people who may have been surrounded by perverts from a very early age, sexually fluid and promiscuous from a very early age. So, I mean, you know, once you get to a certain point, it's like, how much more can you do with vagina before you want to, I want to test the waters and explore. Y'all make sure y'all hitting that thumbs up button too. I have seen dudes with back of the neck tats and tramp stamps. Ooh. My boyfriend has his Mars and Gemini. Well, my baby daddy got his Mars and Gemini. And the way, I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think he's messing with men. I mean, I don't put nothing past nobody, but the way that it showed up for my child's father, that nigga was just batshit crazy. And so he had that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing where he would like flip, and he was very violent and very like real laid back 1 minute and then ready to whoop your ass the next minute. They tried to bring Chris Brown into the mix. All he do is diss gay people. Chris Brown is struggling with his own sexuality too, but that's a whole different story for a different day. Here we go. As an app like Tiny Chat, he's always on there with gay folks. Who? Jessica? Lil Fizz and Ray. Oh, you already know Lil Fizz in the closet. That whole B2K. Y'all go check out my B2K reading that I did. I did a reading on Omarion. I did a reading on B2K. I did a reading on Lil Fizz. Y'all go check that out. Yeah. All of them niggas have some shit going on. And I think the majority of them do have that Scorpio South Node, Saturn conjunct Scorpio South Node. So I feel like they have some type of past life connection, a karmic, like contractual kind of thing going on, with lots of repressed sexual trauma, so on and so forth. So, I mean, that goes without saying. Y'all see Usher gay ass got a baby on the way. Not the fire penis. Mars and Cancer, absolutely, Patricia. Mars and Cancer is a huge homosexual indicator or placement. Gay indicators within the birth chart, absolutely. Absolutely, I can. There also are indicators that show, that people, you're asking if there are indicators that can show if people act on these desires. Well, we all have free will. So it's like, I mean, depending on, just because I'm a realist, so it's like, depending on what the chart looks like if a person just has like an overwhelming number of like circumstantial like factors that could point towards them being a certain way. Me being a realist says that like the likelihood of you acting on these things at some point in your life is going to be rather high, especially if you don't have any other energy that kind of counteracts that. But then you also got to think about people's transits too, like, because that's essentially what transits are. They unlock certain energy signatures within your natal chart. Same thing with progressions. Like, so it's like, okay, maybe if you don't act on them now, who's to say, undergoing a particular transit, right, might not, manifesting some shit popping off in your life to where you may think like, maybe you see what I'm saying? So it gets very tricky. But like I said, I'm a realist. This is the Capricorn North Node in me. If it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it's a motherfucking Aflac. That's just how I look at it. But people do have free will, though, and we all have free will. You're dealt a certain variety of cards, and you can choose how you handle it. But there are a limited number of outcomes or choices from an energetic standpoint that we all have. But you can choose to do whatever you want to do with it, especially if you're somebody who's a lot more self-aware. But realistically speaking, especially when it comes to stuff like you having like an afflicted Mars or shit, like it's very instinctive. When we're talking about people's sexualities, like your urges and stuff like that's very, very instinctive. Very instinctive. Like people are very likely to kind of act on their instincts at some point or another. So I have Sun, Mercury, Mars, Pluto, and my part of fortune. Girl, not poor princess. Ooh, princess. Who let Usher impregnate them? Good question. You'll be surprised when folks got money, anything will happen. He has Gemini Mars in the second house. So he must be like a hustler then. Like a somebody who's into making fast money. You ain't the fuck right. She's his beard. I heard R. Kelly. Well, of course, R. Kelly got a lot of stuff. Him being gay is the least of his fucking worries. Okay. Uncle Larry. Hypersexuality is basically the definition of a rapper. Yep. These are facts. I think anal feels good. Anal does feel good. Sincerely, Scorpio Mars. Anal feels excellent. Let me not give y'all the wrong idea. Anal hurts, but there are a lot of nerve endings in the anus that can make anal sex very pleasurable if that is something that you're into. So, I mean, look, I don't blame them. I just feel like I do feel like a lot of people need to be a lot more forthcoming, but I know that also kind of requires the Black community, especially Black women, to have a certain conversation in terms of like, I noticed there are a lot of homophobic Black women. I mean, the Black community is very homophobic in general. So it's like, if we tell these people that they need to be more forthcoming with their sexuality, it's actually your responsibility to produce an environment where they feel comfortable doing so. But, that's a different story for a different day. Rabina is a Gemini Mars. I don't think Rabina, I don't know. I don't put nothing past nobody, but from what I know about Ra, I don't think she really be, she halfway don't even like niggas like that. So I don't know. Oh Lord. I don't think so. I don't get those vibes from Rabina though. But what? I don't know. Meg, I remember in the Tim Norton video where you saying, Shawty got ass for days. Look at that ass. Her mama made. That's how he look. Tim got that big old booty. Big old booty. Big booty hoes. Pump with that. Patricia! I've also heard Mars and Gemini likes foreign women that look different. I would say that's more so Sagittarius Mars. Gemini Mars men like variety though. So, I mean, they like different types. A Gemini Mars man will like to talk or like to fuck with different women for different reasons. So like, or just a Gemini Mars person in general. But if we're talking about a man, like he could have a woman that he likes strictly because he feels like he can learn something from her. Another one, he'll have another woman across town maybe that he'll deal with just because she know how to cook. Another woman over here because she, I don't know, sucks good dick. Like they just like variety. They like to have options, they don't like, they can get bored very easily. So they need things to be fresh. If you're dealing with a Gemini Mars man, keep you a couple wigs handy. You know what I mean? Make sure you switch things up, right? Variety is the spice of life when it comes to that whole Gemini Mars energy. So these are men who like, they could just like dealing with different people who, or in their minds, it's like, oh, I can't find everything I want in one woman, so I'm gonna just date every woman who has a little piece of what I want, and then just kind of split my time up that way. Or whoever just catches my interest in the moment. It just is what it is. Like, and it can be very casual. You know, maybe they'll be friends with a girl and then decide like, I wonder what she fuck like, and then fuck her and then go on about their business. I know there's a lot of Gemini Mars men too are real big on like running trains, or they might be big in that what you call like threesomes, which I mean you could make the argument that like it could kind of lean into that flexibility theme of like, okay, if you're willing to smash one chick in a room full of niggas with your dick out, how far will you go? How low can 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 you go? Probably April probably does have that on a Morian. Ray J be on. Oh, Ray J be on. Is it Bingo or Bigo? With Gay Folks Safari too. Ooh. Chris Brown is not struggling. You hate him for no reason. Huh? Wait, first of all, okay, I do hate Chris Brown, but are you really finna say it's for no reason? This man is an abusive powderhead. This man is a motherfucking crackhead, motherfucking womanizer. This nigga waited till he was an adult to become a fucking blood. Okay, all he does is curse out women on his platform, disrespect women, disrespect black women. I would not say it's for no reason. I think I have a really good reason to hate Christopher Bobby Powderhead Brown. I think I got a real good reason for that. The sad part is my uncle is married to a woman. Oh, damn. Only one real, yeah, exactly. Rasby was, and that's that Gemini shit. If they don't do nothing else, they gonna talk. Rasby a Gemini. They're going to talk. Maybe that's why Safari and Ray J. I didn't realize Safari and Ray J were that close. Oh, you know Marcus Houston is. Chris Brown's so ugly. He looked like a bull. A toy. He looks like a little lizard to me. Yes, y'all. Make sure y'all get those likes up. No problem, astronaut warrior. Yes, Scorpio Mars is freaky. Or a matter of when, I see. Yeah. Yeah, Hollywood is a very weird place. Definitely like if you gay, you bi, gay or bi, Capricorn moon. So I totally understand that realistic point of view. Right. All strippers in the hotel, he abandoned his wife and daughter. Come on, transsexual. Oh, Virgo Mars men are very sexually driven too. Most gay men have their Mars in Leo. I will say that Virgo Mars can make a very sexually driven man. That Leo Mars can make for a hypersexual man. But like I was saying, whereas like you'll normally see a lot of different factors that can point towards someone's sexuality, I would need a little bit more to convince me that they were like gay. Yeah, they're either abstaining from sex or sex totally, full freaks, full on freaks, no in between. As a kid, I was going to wait till marriage and then I lost it at 19. It can't go too long without it. Princess is very pretty. She's very pretty. R. Kelly got shanked with a pen. Well, tough titty. Tough titty. I don't feel no type of ways. Molester. Molest. Keep that motherfucker where he at. I don't give a fuck. They can shank him again. Hopefully they'll aim for like a major artery so he can bleed out. You like tossing salad? See, listen, I've never tossed salad before, but I'm not saying that I won't though. I just haven't before. I like Virgo men, so typically, if he doesn't have any like major afflictions to his son, I can trust that he's like a well-groomed, very, clean man. So maybe if I like marry a guy and I want to spice life up with my husband, I would see what that tossed salad do. I would try it. I'm not too proud to say I would try eating booty. I would try it. Anal sex make me squirt sometimes. Ooh, come on, Scorpio forever. Ooh, it hurt for me. Yes, the poop hole, the dookie shooter. You just got to make sure you clean it out really well. Make sure you get you a fleet, dish out that booty hole, take a bath. You know what I'm saying? And that shit like a second coochie. You're welcome. It hurts, but once it's in there, baby. I'm proud to be a Scorpio woman. Listen, one thing about us Scorpio placements, we like some anal. We gonna do some booty play, one way or the other. You have a Scorpio Mars too. How has that manifested for you, Boo Boo Kitty? She'll say nah. That's all that happened to R. Kelly. I thought they tried to kill him. How they was talking to pen. That's what, I don't know. I remember seeing some headlines like earlier today, but he'll be all right. He'll be all right. My Uncle Roland is gay too. No, Pisces have the foot fetishes. Pisces deals directly with the feet. I tend to notice a lot of dark side Pisces have porn addictions too. Especially when you're dealing with like the dark-sided Pisces men. For sure. I have a Sagittarius Mars. IDKY, but the men in my life are super open with me about their sexualities. And I'm like, well, that's good. Ocean's daughter. That's good. You keep being receptive to it. You don't want to, people to feel like they can't be honest with you because that's when motherfuckers start lying. And one thing about me, I hate a motherfucking liar. Like, just keep that shit a band. Keep that shit a buck with me. All that lying shit, that's unnecessary. Libra Mars, man, once again, depending on what else they have going on in their chart, just Mars and Libra isolated doesn't make for a super sexually driven person, but they can be someone who is very fueled by the input of their partner. So like they could go out of their way to do things that they know their partner might like. You know what I'm saying? Mars Libra women could, or Libra Mars women, should I say, could also go out of their way to like weaponize sex or use sex in a very strategic way to kind of lure men in. So these are women. I know there's a lot of dark side Libra women do this too. Excuse me. Unless obviously they have other places in their chart to make them hypersexual women. They can be like, just the type of women to exude sexuality on the outside. And then once they get that man or get that person, like all that shit is dead. All that shit is over with. Mars and Leo can be very sexual. Very sexual. And when it comes to men who have that Leo Mars, these are men who they like to fuck with their eyes first. So, a lot of their sexual conquests, these are men who may like to brag about it. They like to look as women or their sexual conquest is like notches under their belt. They take a lot of pride in their sex game. These may be the niggas who talk a lot of shit about their dick game and shit. They can also be very competitive in the bedroom. These are men, like if you tell them that they have a little dick, they will probably kill you. Like their egos couldn't take it. Their egos couldn't. They couldn't stand it. They won't be able to survive. How to get a natal chart reading from me? Email me at astroworld@gmail.com. I'll put the email address in the description, or not description, but in the comment section rather. And just email me and just say, hey, what's up? I was in your chat. I want to read it, and I'll get you all of the information you need so we can go ahead and get the process started. astroworld@gmail.com. Wow, okay. Your boyfriend's a Pisces and obsessed with porn. I'm trying to tell you. Or sometimes like they can run the risk of like, I notice a lot of Pisces men, and once again, I mean, my last relationship, like my last major relationship was my child's father. So if y'all hear me bring him up a lot, it's not like I like want to be with him or nothing like that. It's just, you know, it was just my last frame of reference. But, you know, he was a Pisces, and I noticed a lot of dark side Pisces men have a difficult time with intimacy, because y'all know porn, like porn addicts can have a difficult time with intimacy because it's like this theme of perfection. So it's like things have to be just right, you know, for them to really get in the mood. Even some Pisces women. And with Pisces men, if they are too emotionally disconnected, like it'll be a situation where like y'all will be fucking and like he'll be fantasizing about somebody that ain't even you. And now that I think about it, I remember my baby daddy told me one time, like, oh, I was fucking you, but I was thinking about Rihanna. And I got so mad, y'all, because I'm like, first of all, bitch, I ain't never fucking your whole ass again. Like, what kind of shit is that? Like, I'm fucking you, but I don't. And it made me super insecure because, you know, my Cancer South Node, I take everything personal. Like, bitch, what the fuck that's supposed to mean? The fuck? Like, you know, but little did I know at that time, a lot of Pisces men are like that. They can be like that. Like, so those are the type of men, like, if they're really bad with it, they'll be fucking you. It'll almost be like they're simulating masturbation with your vagina. Like you just happen to be there. But in order for them to get in the zone, their minds are somewhere else. They thinking about that porn they watched the other day. They thinking about their favorite celebrity. They thinking about their woman crush. They're just, it's disgusting. I don't do Pisces, man. Because I crave intimacy. So if you're going to be in the zone with me, you're in the zone with me. If I'm fucking you, I'm fucking you. Nigga, I could be thinking about Big Crit when I'm fucking you, but I don't. The fuck? I must got a little Pisces in with that feed. I can't do the feed. I'm good on the feed. I'm a Pisces sun, used to watch porn all the time until I realized energy ties and all that. And pretty feet are nice. I only watch porn when I need to masturbate. I like watching porn, but it's like, for some people, if they are not, like, they do it so much that they become desensitized to, like, the human experience, or like, you know what I'm saying, they can have just a difficult time like really connecting with people on a personal level and experiencing like that level of intimacy. So it's like there's nothing wrong with like watching porn. There's nothing wrong with you watching porn as often as you feel, I guess, that you need to. But if it's interfering with your ability to like make love to your partner, that's a problem, fam. You're a Cancer monster. I won't have sex with someone unless I have a strong emotional, and spiritual connection. Yep, that sounds about right. My fourth house is ghetto as hell. Why is it ghetto? Or how is it ghetto? Now we understand. Pisces men are toxic. Yeah, my boyfriend is a lot to handle. I'm trying to tell y'all, and I just don't do well with Pisces men. It's just, I don't do well, and I'm a fire sign woman, so like Sagittarius, Sagittarius naturally squares Pisces, so there is this level of I don't know, it's just tension, or like it's, like I said, with my father's child, it was a situation, and I know a lot of fire sign women have this issue. We naturally emasculate men. So I remember he and we had a very abusive relationship, and he used to say stuff like, you trying to emasculate me? You trying to emasculate me? Like, nigga, All I said was you was just a bitch ass nigga. I wasn't even trying to I ain't even take it that way. But if that's how you want to, if you trying to get gangster with me, like this, say less. Like all I said was your mama can't cook, and you need to look. All I said was you need to stop checking my motherfucking phone for you find something you don't want to see. That's all the fuck I'm being funny now. He ain't check my phone, but still. I would just be mean. He'd be like, you emasculate me. I'm like, all right. Crybaby. Go suck your mama titty. My mother, Gemini Mars, she always talks about sex. Oh, yeah. Gemini Mars loves phone sex or talking freaky and stuff like that. Simulating sex. I have a theory that Gemini Mars women give really good hand jobs. Because, Gemini deals with the hands. So they probably jack the fuck out of nigga dick. Your Pisces boyfriend is sexually distant. That's a shame. That's sad. It's official. I just cannot with the Pisces men. I can't. It's triggering. You describing your Pisces boyfriend, Boo Boo Kitty, is giving me PTSD. I'm having flashbacks. He likes to watch porn before sex. See, and while he's fucking you, he probably ain't even thinking about you. He probably thinking about what the fuck he just watched. For me, that's a problem. Not to say that it has to be a problem for everyone else, but me and how I am and how I'm set up, you know what I'm saying? I want to be tended to, and I can be kind of insecure and in my head about stuff. So I need reassurance. I don't want to look at you hunching me and knowing that you're not even thinking about me. I got a problem with that. You love dirty talk. You think you've reached a point of desensitization or being desensitized? I love watching I like lesbian porn too. It's actually hit or miss. There are some videos that could really get me going. It just depends. Because I feel like some lesbian okay, here's my thing, right? If you're going to eat coochie, if you're going to carpet munch, you need to be in that motherfucker. You need to munch. The whole I'm going to do this flickering thing with my tongue like I'm a lizard, like I'm a Komodo dragon. I don't really get off on that. That's not really my thing. Scorpio in Palace. That's how I pronounce it. Yeah, it's an asteroid. It typically deals with one's relationship with the father. So for a lot of people with that placement, depending on how it's aspected, they can have very insidious relationships with the father, or their father can be a very influential, a strong influence on their lives. I watch porn, but I don't masturbate to it. I've never masturbated in my life, and I'm 20. Well, you got a ways to go, honey. You got a ways to go. I love to masturbate. I've been celibate for 3 years, so it's the only way I stay sane. My sister's a Taurus sun, Sag moon, Leo ascendant. She has a lot of masculine energy. Hell yeah. Yeah, Pisces love playing the victims. That's a big fact. I'm a Pisces rising, Pisces sun, crazy Pisces. I don't really care for the females either. Very sensitive. That's true. Girl, right? My Libra baby daddy is a bitch ass. Libras are some bitch. They some bitch. They some hoes. Libra men, they some motherfucking hoes. You ain't lied. I can't do them either. Mars and Libra, I have to be attracted in order to have sex with them. And then why you calling me out, Gemini Mars? You fun. My mother once talked to a preacher about sex. I'm pretty sure she did. A lot of these preachers be doing more than just talking. Shit. I'm gonna do a reading on what's that name? What's that big old man name? He built like a chicken nugget and he a preacher and his name John Gray. I'm gonna do a reading on him. Mars and Aries, of course, can be, unless it's afflicted, they can be very like primal sexual beings as well. But I tend to notice a lot of Mars Aries men, excuse me, they can be quick pumpers. They can be quick pumpers, but they could also be kind of like even selfish in bed. Like, these are people who can get their nut first and then go on about their business. I don't like that. But Mars Aries individuals, they are very sexually charged. Libra, some pussy bitches. I need inspiration for me to be horny. Otherwise, I'm asexual. Oh, wow. And I don't even like men like that. So you like women, Lilith? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're saying? Like, when you do get your inspiration, you be liking women? That's so true about Pisces. I'm a Pisces sun and I fantasize about other people as well. It's the dreamer aspect of the sign. But I can see how, it's just upsetting if I'm trying to like make love and all that shit. Like, nigga, focus on me. I think Pisces is a genius sign, though. Public enough. Oh, thank you, Alicia. I appreciate that. Thank you, baby, for the shout outs and the great review. I appreciate that. I hate his shape and his dumbass line. Pinky shaped like a thumb now. Oh, pink. Send help. Girl, don't do my pinky. You know, and you know what it is? I don't even think that she weighs that much. She's just so short. She's 4'11". And you know, the shorter you are, any type of weight that you gain, the smallest amount of weight, it can look like a whole lot. Cause it's like, you know what I mean? Poor thing. Oh, I hate that. I hate that for her. I really do. I really, really hate that for her. I don't know what it is. I don't know if she just like started eating more or if she just, I don't know, maybe it could be like a hormonal issue. I don't know. He is built like a chicken nugget. Can't do the selfish type either. Exactly. My Libra husband will not back you. I've gotten into it with my mother-in-law. That's because that Libra like to play both sides shit. They like to be on that both sides. And I got a problem with that. Now, I will say I can relate a little bit. I'm a Libra ascendant and Venus. So, like, I understand the urge to want to do that, but ultimately, I just can't, I can't respect nobody who, like, if that's how they get down. I just can't. I swear I'll be giggling through these lies. You can fantasize, but don't tell. What is the topic, right? Well, we started out talking about Brandy, and then we got on Ray J with the T with Ray J, and somehow we found our way to like bisexuality, homosexuality. Now here we are talking about fucking and sex and sexual preferences and random shit. Ugh, I had a whole agenda. Okay, so because like I said, I did want to get to like the full moon. This Pisces full moon thing, and then after that we can officially like talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. So I don't know if you guys may have noticed with this energy, this Pisces full moon can definitely produce a lot of feelings of just being tired. I was very drowsy. I got Pisces in my 6th house. So, this moon and Neptune transit in my 6th house. A lot of you all may need a lot more sleep than you normally do. A lot of you all may be experiencing very vivid dreams. So you guys pay exceptional close attention to your dreams right now. Some of you all, depending on where Pisces is in your chart, you may even be experiencing sleep disruption. So there's like the theme of like sleep is a central theme for people. So, a lot of people feel just when you look at the collective, right? Just the collective as a collective, a lot of people are just very drained, very drained. You could be tempted to dive into your creativity. So, writing, drawing. I've been tempted to watch a lot more movies than I normally do, right? Diving into that Piscean moon energy. This is also a really good time to manifest, to hop into your magic bag, your spirituality bag, whatever it is. I've been doing money rituals. I've been doing all kinds of spells. If that's your thing, if that's what you do, especially if you do ancestral work, you know what I'm saying? This is a great time. Pisces moon, or this Pisces full moon is an excellent time to get in touch with your ancestors. But also Pisces does deal with like karma. It deals with direct manifestation or the materialization of desires and shit. And I think the moon is forming a sextile to Uranus. So, like I said, this just reinforces the power that comes with manifesting during this time. So, there a lot of people are very sensitive. So this ties back to this theme of being very drained. People just the very sensitive and taking very close or paying very close attention to the suffering of others, the pain and the suffering of others. Like, I don't know if you guys have been feeling like this, but like just watching the news is just, I don't really like watching the news anyway, but every time I get on social media, somebody done died, somebody done did this, it's just too much. It's overwhelming. So feel free to disconnect and unplug and just kind of, isolate. That's another theme of that Pisces moon. Isolate if you need to. Take some time away, which could be very important, especially with transiting Sun in Virgo. So like we've officially entered the Virgo season where people are trying to establish some sense of either normalcy. The kids are going back to school. That's very much that Virgo energy. People are trying to get their lives in order. A lot of parents are stressed out. Right. So just take some time and just relax. Take it easy for the time being. There could be a lot of illusions being projected, but that's always. And we got other transits that definitely deal with a lot of the smoke and mirrors that are taking place just within society as a whole. But also this Pisces moon marks a level or like a place of like completion, you know what I mean? So maybe a lot of us feel like this energy is the culmination or the ending of something. A lot of us are starting either new ventures, new projects, or maybe you are trying to once again, progress on a spiritual journey, get your life in order. But there is this theme of like this finality, right, that comes with this Pisces full moon. And then once again with the Sun, transiting Sun, I don't think it's forming an opposition to the moon right now, but I know at some point it will, which will absolutely deal or bring about struggles with, once again, creating routines and order. So, just a lot of difficulty and chaos and confusion. You could even look at that surrounding like our everyday lives and, what we're supposed to be doing and how to do them, causing us to pay very close attention to our patterns. A lot of things could be coming undone around this time. Maybe a lot of you are frustrated. Self-sabotage is a huge theme with that Pisces full moon, right? Especially depending on like where it is in your chart and how it's being aspected. There could be a tendency to engage in a lot of self-sabotage. You know what I mean? So just be mindful of that. People seeking perfection, but also, the best remedy, I guess, to this energy is, like I said, surrender, peace, be still. You know what I'm saying? Dive into your dream nature. Also, another huge theme tied to this Pisces full moon is, moon is diving into your more charitable nature. Okay. Focusing on ways that you can be of service and that's more so Virgo energy, but that you can be of help and assistance to others, right? How you can alleviate some of the pain and suffering of other people. So there's that. Let's see. Sacrifice. This time period may call for you to sacrifice something of yourself. So think about what you need to give up in order to ascend to a higher level. You know what I mean? And just ultimately being mindful of giving into either victim mentalities or, feeling like you have no free will or feeling powerless. Just avoid that type of thinking, because obviously it's not helpful. It's not productive. Take it easy if you can. Take it easy. Easy. Probably went back to one of your past lives. Oh, wow. Going to school for social work. So I just started. I lost the comment. So I just started a new class, learning tools for helping people. That's awesome. What are some indicators in a birth chart that you're into candle magic, love spells, etc.? Typically lots of Piscean energy, 12th house energy. I notice a lot of natal Pisces moon. So if you're experiencing your lunar return at the moment, this is definitely your time to shine. But also people who have a lot of prominent Scorpio energy too could definitely be into occultism. Okay. In some cases, people with a lot of like 11th house or Aquarian energy, they can kind of be into more like the metaphysical component of it, or these can be like people who really like astrology and stuff like that. Could you do a video on Venus signs? I can actually, Boo Boo Kitty, I can. Cancer too is another sign that could be really big, but that's more so from an ancestral standpoint too. Pisces and Cancer are really big, like ancestral signs, especially with Cancer dealing with like literally your roots and whatnot. Made this morning, my 10-year-old was on my husband's old phone trying to look for music to download. A girl porno popped up on the screen. Oh my Jesus. Yeah, that could play a part in it. Oh my God, what did y'all do? What did you say? NYC? What does your son say? Like, what do you do in that moment? What do you do? Like, I mean, I would have dove for that phone, and then I guess you would just have to break it clean, like come clean, like listen. I don't know. That's wild right there. I ain't even gonna front. I ain't even gonna lie. Brandy said, must be a full moon. Feel like one of those nights. You got porn on your phone. I'm scared to do some ancestral work because you don't know what spirits you are connected with, even. And that is true. I can't speak for everyone, and I'm not super deeply immersed, so there are so many other credible, more credible people to speak to on this than I am. I know Black Spectrum Network is a really good channel for people who are looking to do ancestral work. I have a really good friend, Queen Lovely, who is managing the channel Melanated Crowns. She's really good with that stuff. But me personally, I have a great grandmother, which I've inherited a lot of her intuitive abilities, and she and I have always had a very close relationship. And when she crossed over, I felt a very strong connection to her. So a lot of times when I'm speaking to my ancestors, I don't know them niggas. My big granny, the gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? Because I know my big granny, I know her spirit, I know her energy, and she holds me down. So I can't really speak to the other niggas, but I do agree. Just arbitrarily just being like, oh, and because a lot of y'all got bitch ass ancestors, hoe ass, weak ass ancestors. So I mean, a lot of our ancestors, they were people just like us in the flesh at some point. So I mean, it's a lot of pussy ass niggas, hoe ass niggas, bitch ass niggas now. I can only imagine what happens when you cross over. So it's just, that can be very, people can have some hater ass ancestors, some, like you said, evil, insidious ass ancestors. All of these things can be true. So I agree. I just know who I call on and who I trust, and that's all I can really do. That's it. Are you reading cards tonight for a general reading? What do you want me to read on, Candace? What's your ancestors, or like what if your ancestors are demons? There are lower vibrational entities that can absolutely be manipulative. So that's why I say it's important to know who you're talking to. And if you're exploring more of that vein, like when we're talking ancestral connections and all that, there are people who you can talk to, like trusted either shamans or trusted spiritual leaders who can get you in touch or who can do readings on who walks with you specifically to figure these things out. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think it's something that you should just jump into blind by yourself. But for example, let's say you got a big mama, you got a trusted family member that has crossed over. And also I kind of I do things to build relationships with my grandmother from the other side, my big granny from the other side. So I know her when I feel her. So it's just like, but I also have spirit guides to where like I set firm boundaries. So it's like, which took me a long time to do. Cause like I said, I am clairaudient. So I hear things. But I'm an astrologer first. I don't market myself as like a medium, a psychic or whatever. But I am just now getting to the point in my life where I'm learning how to integrate all of those things and like embrace my talents and stuff. So, I said all that to say, like, I set very firm boundaries with whatever guys that I'm dealing with, and yeah, like I treat them like I do people. Like I don't open up and make myself vulnerable to people. I wouldn't open myself up in the spiritual world and just make myself vulnerable to any and everyone in the spiritual world either. It's all about building relationships, baby. Has the spirit ever cussed me out? Nah, fam. The only deceased relative I trust is my father and maternal grandmother. I believe in enlightening yourself and acquiring knowledge about your own self-conscious. I don't think people need to do, and it's really to each his own, Lilith. For some people, it can be a very empowering experience. Like I said, I just know for me, it is. Because a lot of part of understanding yourself is understanding where and who you come from, right? And who's on your head. And which leads into like a deeper conversation of like, you know, like the orishas and stuff like that. And I'm someone who's fairly agnostic. You know, I just kind of like to have a certain understanding of certain things. So but my point is, if these are things that you are really into, or if you are seeking clarity, make sure you find a very reputable and trusted spiritual leader or a spiritual teacher to really help you become more educated on these things. You know, because it's something that is, you know, very, like I said, empowering to a lot of people. And I think there are a lot of benefits that can come from it if that's your flavor. If that's your flavor. Because if not, that's fine too. I think my ancestors are trying to help me love and embrace my Afrocentric features. That's awesome. I feel like it's too risky. You're making yourself vulnerable in their spirits that can portray themselves as someone else in order to attach themselves to you. That's true. I mean, that's true. That's why I say it's about educating yourself too, though. Because if you're dealing with and you're regularly working with people who are very like knowledgeable of those things, you'll know what to do, what not to do, ways that you can make yourself vulnerable to those things, and so on and so forth. Because anytime you're someone who's intuitive or someone who's dealing in the spiritual realm or whatever the case may be, I mean, duality is the common sense that comes with duality says that, okay, everything is not just going to be roses and unicorns and fairies and love and light, y'all. Like, that's not realistic. You know, when you have a light that shines really bright like that, or when you're someone like, I can't speak for anyone else but myself. So like I have a very, like, especially as a Cancer South node, I naturally am somebody who's very, probably in other dimensions, I have a very big light, and that light attracts all types of things, like all types of, whether it's good spirits, whether it's bad spirits. And from a very early age, I used to be very tormented, you know, having intrusive thoughts, obsessive, you know, emotions, and just emotional like hysteria. Even now, I still struggle with it. Bipolarism, all of that from a spiritual standpoint deals with, like, I mean, it's a spiritual kind of warfare. It's a spiritual attack. It's a learning how to balance out and harness your own energies and stuff like that. So like, I still deal with it on my own, but like I've gotten better with understanding myself and placing boundaries and learning kind of like the duality of it all. Yeah, so for me, and your spiritual journey is also very personal too. But I do agree with you, Lilith, in terms of like people needing to be very careful when they call themselves summoning spirits. And that's another thing. I don't intentionally summon spirits. I'm not a medium. But like I said, I am clairaudient, or like if I'm doing a reading or something like that, I do find myself like I can sense, I don't know, I can sense the presence of certain things. Or if I'm meditating, like certain guides will come to me. But at the end of the day, I'm protected. I know I'm protected. And like I said, I can just speak for me. I can't speak for nobody else. You do what works for you. I didn't care if you saw this in the chat, but would you do a reading on India? I will, Maya. I heal myself from depression and anxiety and avoiding issues by doing deep self-work. That's awesome, Lilith. Let me know if you got any like specific tips. Like, what did that look like? Like, what did that self-work look like? Because I'm on a journey to resolve a lot of my issues in that regard too. That's awesome. That's really awesome. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's the big ass deal. I'm learning my way around conjure so far. I'm really good at money, root work, love work, and herbs. I'm a Taurus with a Libra rising. Come on, that's some herbs. Come on, Taurus. And I will say too, I don't go out of my way. Like some people play, like I've seen a lot of people play with spirits in terms of like, oh, I'm trying to summon this spirit so I can work with them. Like I don't even do things like calling on the Orishas and stuff like I said, I'm not even that deep into it. Like I'm not. So like I said, I totally understand that it can definitely be a Pandora's box. There are people who definitely intentionally try to summon and do work with very specific spirits that I ain't there, and I don't even think I'm trying to be there. That's not my forte. But yes, I want to heal my inner child. Oh yes, shadow work, inner child. I feel that. Yep. It took me 6 years to heal myself after my father lost his battle with cancer. Oh, I'm sorry, Patricia. And what are some things that work for you that you could share with us in the chat? Sagittarius can be highly, yeah, my niece is a Sag. Yeah. Yep. That's that Jupiter influence. We still doing the brand industry. Yeah, we can do it. So, hold on. Let me pull up some of my notes. Let me pull up some of y'all want to talk about Tasha K too while we here tonight, or any winos in the building. I don't want, I'm a little old me on my little old channel, so I doubt she will. I don't know. They say Tasha K be scouring the internet. I might say that one for Patreon then, because I did a natal chart reading on her, and I found some very interesting things. Yep, I think I'm gonna say that one for Patreon because I ain't got time. I ain't no drama YouTuber. This ain't the beef sector of YouTube. Yeah, we way off track. So in terms of Brandy and Monica, so some of the interesting things that I saw just off rip were the fact that, so let's just start with where they could be compatible. They're both Brandy and Monica both have their Neptunes conjoined to one another in Brandy's 10th house, which deals with them like being really big powerhouses from like a creative standpoint or from an artistic standpoint. Where like, they can both come together and join forces, and be household names, especially with that Neptune and Sagittarius, them being superstars, that kind of thing, right? But one of the biggest, like, I guess you could say key factors or components in the synastry that explains a lot of what we see playing out between the two is the fact that Brandy's moon is conjoined to Monica's Leo North node. That's competition all day long. This deals with the two women being very competitive with one another. And actually, I would say it's more so on Brandy's part with her moon conjoined to Monica's North node, because you got to think about it. As an Aquarius South node, Monica naturally be someone where her baseline mode of operation is to be either in the background, or maybe not the background, but like someone who is okay. Like these are people who, they are okay with working with other people. Like they can be team players. It's not uncommon for an Aquarius to play like a supportive role, because these are people who are built and surrounded by like the collective, right? However, with that Leo North node, she could have a natural sense of star power and celebrity about herself that could really trigger even jealousy within Brandy. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brandy was very jealous of her at some points. And like I said, it just this super competitive kind of nature to where they both can have like a very like tit for tat, win-lose mentality towards certain things, or where they both feel like they have to defend their own territory. So I thought that was very interesting. Brandy's Chiron is conjoined to Monica's Taurus moon, which, in Brandy's second house it could deal with them, I feel like there could have been some issues financially. As far as like, I don't know how they split the boy is mine money. Like, I don't know anything about the logistics of their business dealing, but this aspect in and of itself can produce issues with like money, or in terms of maybe Brandy cutting Monica out of some money, or maybe that could be a primary concern when they get together. Maybe this could even deal with them wanting to get together so that they can do like or this whole versus situation being a money grab or something like that. But this could also even deal with, there is a lot of there's a lot of tension or a lot of issues surrounding like the two being like them fighting over the favorite, because that Taurus energy, that Chiron conjunct Taurus moon, can deal with like where both women are competing to be the favorite, like either people's fan favorites. It could deal with where both of them could have like a very eroding sense of like self-esteem, self-worth. So there's that. It could definitely have some implications in terms of like their music, or them working in the music industry, like their plight within the music industry. I think Brandy might have just had financial issues too, though. I think it could be more so reflective of Brandy having money problems, maybe. I'm not sure if y'all have heard of that, so feel free to let me know if you've heard anything about that. Let me see what else that kind of just stood out to me. Brandy's Venus at that 6th degree of Capricorn is squaring Monica's Saturn, which could also produce a situation where they have a difficult time getting along, where they can be frenemies, that type of thing, or once again just come together strictly for business reasons. Let me see. Brandy's Sun is squaring Monica's Mercury at the 19th degree of Scorpio. So that can even just deal with where Brandy naturally makes Monica very defensive, where Monica feels like she has to be on her P's and Q's, where she got to be on her pivot. Scorpios are naturally very defensive people anyway, So there's that. Let's see what else. Brandy Saturn at the 11th degree of Virgo is squaring Monica's Mars, which can deal with Brandy trying to be in control. I think they could have issues where and you, now that I'm thinking about it, y'all remember when Monica was singing Sideline Ho, and Brandy was like, no, like, don't use the word ho, and then Monica was like, sideline ho. I think this aspect could deal with where like the whole trajectory of their relationship could center around like Brandy trying to, like, she wants to be I don't want to say the queen bee, but you could tell she's someone who wants to exert a certain level of control and etiquette and decorum over the situation, and it may not mesh well with Monica, because that Sagittarius Mars that Monica has is very like conducive to her being someone who is just like a free spirit, right? Where she can view Brandy as like a party pooper, or just somebody who is just like doing the most, or maybe she's just overbearing, right? I also think Brandy's Chiron conjunct Monica's Taurus moon could even deal with Brandy always wanting to take credit for certain things. Like how she always takes credit for like, okay, well, I was the one. I saw Monica and I was like, oh my goodness, Monica, I have to work with her. You know what I mean? that type of thing. And then, of course, Brandy's Mars is square Monica's Mercury. That's them just naturally butting heads. I can see them getting into some arguments. You know what I mean? So let me look at y'all comments. She took over last night. They played her songs longer too. Brandy is more trained. Not only that, but they kept shortening Monica's songs. Why do women in the industry always fight with each other? I think some of the reason is it's design. Like the beef is manufactured. Like it's kind of set up to be that way. You don't think Brandy gets enough credit? I mean, that could be another way to look at it because conjunctions can go both ways. So I guess it just depends. Because men in the industry work and try to, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Even with like when you look at the female rappers, it's like one at a time, and then the next woman that comes up, everybody got to compare her to the next. It's just, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to see. It's very exhausting to see. So I got to get up tomorrow morning or this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and head on out. I have fun with y'all per usual. I'll go ahead and keep this live stream up. Once again, if you are interested in booking a reading with the kid, hit me up at astrowerld, ASTROWERLD at gmail.com. And we can go ahead and get you squared away on today. Thank you guys for showing up to this live. I appreciate you guys' time. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button on your way out. And of course, make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And until the next video,